Scott Fontana with the New York Post, here with Tom Aspinall, ahead of UFC 295. And Tom, obviously this is a big turn of events for you. A couple weeks' notice trying to take this fight on, but in the grander scheme, it's a big turn of events for you. A year and a half ago was your big injury. You tore up ligaments in the knee. Yep. It was a tough time for you mentally, we've spoken about before, but here you are now. You're one fight from the peak. Mm-hmm. Did you envision this happening for you when you were going through those tougher times?
Yeah, and that's what motivated me to come back, to be honest. Not just that, do you know what I mean? I knew that one day I'm going to be a heavyweight champion of the world at some point. That is my goal, that is my motivation, and very happy to be here, very happy to get my opportunity, whether it be on 2 weeks' notice or not. I'm looking forward to it, mate. Very excited to be here.
But you couldn't have imagined it happening this quickly, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
I think in the heavyweight division, you're never too far away from... I mean, if you're in the top 5, top 10, you're one big performance away from a title shot, basically. It doesn't really matter too much about rankings. It matters more about what kind of performances you put in. And when I fought Tibura in July in the O2 Arena, which was sold out, finished him in the first minute or two, like that sets a statement, man, for the UFC brass to see, for the fans around the world, and people get excited about it. So I knew it was a big performance. I didn't realise it had set me up for a title shot, but things have happened. People get injured, and I'm in.
And you and Sergei, you're both in your early 30s. You just turned 30. Yep. This almost feels like a preview of what's to come, maybe almost a soft restart for the division in a lot of ways. There is, of course, the original headliner was supposed to be John Jones, Stipe Miocic, but I think you've even spoken about it before. There was this feeling, kind of, I think, in the whole fight atmosphere that they might be one and done, and that both of them might not be around. So does it feel to you like maybe there's kind of a soft restart here?
I think that the next 8, 9, 10 years of the heavyweight division is going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be the golden age of heavyweight MMA. I think, like you say, there's plenty of guys, 30, early 30s, stuff like that, they're not even in their prime yet. I would class myself as nowhere near my prime. I can't speak for Sergei, obviously, and the other guys, but I think that there's guys who are way more athletic than the previous generation. They're way more skilled, and yeah, I think that the next few years, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever, are going to be absolutely unbelievable in the heavyweight division. And
we've seen that heavyweights, historically, they do have a longer shelf life. Yep. There are a lot of great heavyweights who win the title in their, maybe the early 40s or the late 30s and that kind of thing. Obviously, the champion right now was going to fight someone who was 40, and he's in his later 30s, too. Do you see yourself being able to kind of have that longevity in the sport, be able to fight even 10 years, for yourself, even?
I'd like to, yeah. I don't know, because if I can get enough success and money, I'd like to be. I'm aware that this is a dangerous sport, and I don't want to be sticking around taking beatings if I don't need to. Do you know what I mean? But I'd like to be done with this thing by the time I'm 40. You know what I mean, or late 30s. But we never know. What else am I going to do in my life? Who knows? I don't know. I'm not even thinking about retiring or anything like that. Of
course. Or why would you? You're still a young man. You just turned 30, right? So we have Sergei Pavlovich in front of you. Of course, he is. We know him for his heavy hands. He hits really hard with those hands. We haven't seen much, even kicks, we haven't seen much of him doing anything else. He's been able to do whatever he wants. What is it that you have to be wary of beyond just the hands?
I've got to be wary of anything. He's a massive guy, massive power, really, really strong guy. I've got to be aware of everything. I can't just look at him and be like, he just brings this and this, because I think as MMA fighters, we get such a short time to show. We get 15 minutes or 25 minutes maximum to show our whole game. And a lot of the time, I'm speaking for myself personally, is I've shown nothing of what I can actually do or what I'm capable of. And I'm sure it's the same for him. So I got to be prepared for all kinds of different attacks that we've never seen before from him.
Why do you think we haven't seen other opponents of his get him off his game, be able to force him to do anything different?
Because a lot of heavyweights aren't very smart. They just let their ego take over. They want to stand and bang. They want to have a bar fight. They want to do all the rest of the stuff. That's not my style at all. I'm here to use my brain. I'm aware that if I stand flat-footed with Sergei and start swinging it out and have a shootout with him, it evens the odds a lot. And I want the odds to be in my favour. I want to win. So that's not my plan, to go in there and have a shootout with him. That's not what I'm going to do.
Everyone knows his trump card is, of course, those hands we spoke about. What is your trump card?
My trump card is the fact that I move absolutely nothing like any other heavyweight, and nobody can prepare for me. And I'm nothing like a heavyweight. Like, I think that you can look at me on film and there's a lot of stuff that you can see that I do that other guys my size are just physically incapable of doing, and that's a really, really small bit of my game that I've shown so far, and my unpredictability is something that no one's, aware of yet.
We obviously have seen much more of your game, even though most of your fights are still first round finishes. One fight made it a minute and 6 seconds, I think, into the second round in the UFC. Do you see any way that this fight goes past the second round?
Yeah, of course. I expect every fight to go long, to be honest. If I can finish him, though, mate, in 20 seconds, I will do. I'm sure he's the same. But yeah, if it's got to be 5 rounds, I'm happy to do that as well.
Do you feel like that's an advantage for you over most heavyweights, that your gas tank would hold up in those later rounds?
Yeah, well, I got a relaxed style. I don't load up on my punches. I'm not tense in there. I'm very loose. I'm very free mentally, physically, and stuff. And yeah, I think that works well for my gas tank.
Do you think that maybe he might be kind of the opposite of that, maybe a little more tense in there, maybe a little bit more using some of that strength?
Well, he definitely throws a lot of power punches,
sure.
and that's definitely quite exhausting. But I know I've looked at his record. I know he's had a couple of fights that have gone the distance as well. So, I'm sure he trains hard. I'm sure he does all the work in the gym and outside the gym as well. So, yeah, I'm sure he can do it as well.
Now, you were supposed to be on holiday, as I understand it, when you got the call.
Yeah.
And you spoke about that a little bit. Are you guys going to try and make New York a holiday? Are you going to stick around a little bit? Maybe have some fun, get some pizza?
No, I'm leaving. When this thing's done, I'm going. To be honest, I'm not really too much of a holiday guy, really. But I got a wife and children, so they need to be treated to something. So, yeah, when we get back, I'm going to make it up to them at some point.
Who came out here? Was it just your wife, or?
No, she's not here.
She's not here?
No, she's not here. Just me and my team. Are here. No, we have 3 small children, so unfortunately it's difficult to fly across the world and get childcare on like a week's notice by the time everything was sorted out, because for the first week, to be honest, I accepted the fight. I didn't even have a visa, so I actually wasn't sure if I could come until like 2 days before, which is absolutely wild because I had some issues getting my visa and stuff. So she only actually looked at options of coming the week before the fight, which is pretty impossible. So unfortunately, she's not going to make this one.
I don't know how you do dieting and food and that kind of thing. You're heavyweights. In theory, you don't have to worry about making any weight. But are you going to try and indulge in some pizza or before or after the fight?
Yeah, 100% I will do after. Yeah, but I like to try and keep it clean. I'm a heavyweight. I could eat pizza today if I wanted to, but I don't really want to. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. So after the fight, though, a lot of beers, a lot of pizza, and I'm here till Sunday night. So. Yeah, there'll be no sleep Saturday, a lot of beers and pizza, and yeah, I'll be enjoying myself after the fight.